Yo, brother, it's time for us to start talking the real, man. We've been sugarcoating too much. We've got to start calling everything out for what it is.
Good morning, guys. Well, I'm on the Begode C8 and it's time for a range test. And first, a huge shout out to Liam at EUC Underground for providing me his personal C8 to do some testing on. He allowed me to unbox it. I don't think I'll have it too much longer, but I wanted to get a range test in. And that is what I'm doing this morning. So some preliminaries for the range test I always like to provide. My riding weight right now with all my gear, everything I have on me, is 189.4 pounds. So let's just call it 190 pounds. A little bit on the lighter side because this is not a long range wheel, so I don't have my bigger backpack and more gear with me. I think some of my other ones I can be up towards 200 pounds. And tire pressure is 100 or about 30 psi, thereabouts, 28, 30 psi. I charged the wheel fully last night. I left it on the stock charger, which I've been using. I think the stock charger is pretty nice. It's loud like all these stock chargers now, but I like the display that it provides you, so you can see how much current's going into the wheel. Let's see. So, but the fully charged wheel this morning was 83.4 volts. So not a full charge, absolute full charge. Kind of like I'm just kind of over. I'm over it now. I used to be just, I gotta get the absolute full voltage, and it's it's too much of a struggle now. I'd rather just be riding than messing with the charger and trying to balance the cells, and it's close enough. And the bottom line is, once you start riding, even if I started at 84 volts, I mean, once you start riding, it's going to drop a bit pretty quick anyway. So anyway, it's a data point. For those of you who have never seen my range test before, I have established routes that I always take. They're the identical routes. except at the very end sometimes I have to just wing it a little bit to burn off the final juice, but most of the ride is this identical route, and I go along these river trails. I have access to, I can, depending on the wheel, I'll pick a different version of this route. Like today, this is a smaller, 1500 watt hour battery, kind of a commuter wheel. So I don't anticipate it being a real long ride, so I'm taking the shorter river loop. And my new approach has been recently for my range test is to go faster. I used to say back in the early days I'd go, okay, I'm going to maintain a speed of aim for 18 miles per hour, and then I upped it to like 20 or 22 miles an hour, something like that. And but now I've decided, just because it does get tiring after I've been doing this for like 9 years, and to tell you the truth, there's not a lot of variability in the range. I mean, ultimately it's the wheel doesn't, I don't think wheel plays too much of a part, the type of the wheel. It really comes down to battery power and how you ride. So now I'm just basically, my range tests are, I'm going to ride to have fun. I'm going to accelerate as I want. I'm not going to like make a point of going maximum speed for me or anything, but I'm just going to be kind of an aggressive, fun day. Just ride it like I would ride it if I wasn't doing a range test. So today probably with this wheel probably be mid 20s. As you see right now, I'm going 24, 25, something like that. On my bigger wheels, I'll be going into the 30s. So hopefully that gives you a reasonable expectation of what you might get with this wheel. I'm at the spreading grounds right now. This is the area that takes the water overflow from the various LA rivers when it rains. So they collect all the water and then allow it to slowly soak into the ground to replenish the groundwater. Of course, it's summer right now, so no rain in Southern California. And I always do this in my range tests. This is this would be the only bit of what you might call, I guess, trail riding. Not much of a trail really, but I'm not on pavement. I've been enjoying the wheel. The suspension is nice. It's not phenomenal. I have another wheel I'm riding right now, which I'm not going to tell you about in this video, but very similar to this wheel in some ways, but it has a phenomenal suspension. That's a little teaser there. But it's good. I mean, this is a small wheel. I don't know for sure, but I really get the impression that the suspension is very similar to what's on the Falcon, which was a well-received wheel in terms of suspension. I love the Falcon when I ride it. I mean, it's such a tiny wheel, yet it's got a suspension that can really perform surprisingly well. compared to some other suspensions on small wheels. I'll give you two other wheels that have the suspension works, but really only for the little stuff. Otherwise, not that great. That would be and there might be others, but from the wheels I'm familiar with, which are most wheels, my S16, that suspension travels so little, and then it when it bottoms out, it's very harsh. And the V9, again, for it doesn't have much range, and when it does bottom out, it's pretty harsh. Yeah, but for the little stuff, it works well enough. Okay, back in the main river trail. So this wheel, I've been enjoying it. For me, the favorite part is the light show, and I love riding this wheel at night. For me, it's a nighttime wheel. I mean, you know, I've got a lot of wheels to pick from, right? Obviously, if this was a primary wheel, I would do everything with it. I mean, this is so much better than the first wheel I bought, or the second or third wheel I bought way back when. And I did everything with those wheels. But it, you know, by today's standards, it's definitely a small wheel. And again, with all these small wheels, they're not the most stable. It feels more stable than the Rocket. Unfortunately, I got a couple more wheels from Lean not too long after I got the Rocket. I can only ride so much, so I've been focusing on like the C8 right now, because I know I have this for a shorter time. But this feels more stable than the Rocket, for whatever that's worth at this point. But I still deal with wobbles periodically. They come up. I mean, not like wobbles that are going to kill me, but the kind of wobbles that don't give you confidence of, oh, let's see, I want to go 40 miles an hour. Now, of course, this wheel, I think the max speed is in the low 40s anyway, and I don't have I don't have the racing mode on anyway. I mean, realistically, I go max maybe 30 miles an hour. As you can see, like right now, just my natural riding is, you know, 24, 25. I've seen myself go up to, well, it looks like my max speed was 28 so far. You know, but if I hit something a little unexpected, I'll develop some wobbles, or when I'm braking, it can be a little wobbly sometimes. Yeah, but at these speeds, it feels good. What's going on up here? Bicyclists. Guys riding mini bikes. Been seeing more and more of those on these river trails, and those are truly motorized vehicles, which are not supposed to be here. But I don't begrudge guys having fun. Only thing I don't like about them is they're noisy as hell, and they smell awful when they go by, just spewing out fumes. Us, on the other hand, are quiet. Zero impact on the environment. Okay, this is another little detour I always take right through this park. Today's a Sunday morning. Looks like a lot of people enjoying the park. I think it's not even 10 o'clock right now in the morning. Already a fair amount of people out here. We've been having warm weather. It's in the, right now it's in the probably 75, maybe a little bit warmer than that. Looks like Little League baseball, I guess. This wheel is really fun to ride though, just to zip around. I love the slow speed maneuverability. Let's see. I got a 9-foot selfie stick here, so I gotta find the right spot to demonstrate. But it's just so nice to do super tight turns and slow down, speed up. So it's C8 is a really fun wheel. I'm about 14 miles GPS into the ride and 68% battery. So it's doing pretty good. That means it's gonna be an easy 30-mile wheel. Boy, I wish this, so actually I'm approaching the halfway the turnaround time, so I think I'm going to not do that. I'm going to continue on the trail a little bit longer, and then I'll stop and backtrack, and then continue home. I really wish this wheel had come with a bigger battery, you know. If it had a bigger battery, I'd be more tempted to buy one. The only problem is, 1,500 watt hours. I think actually by the book it's more. Well, I shouldn't say. I might be confusing some other wheels, but let's just say basically 1,500 watt hours, right? It's so limiting for me. You know, I have a couple 1,500 watt hour wheels, and I think I have 3 right now in the house. Not including this. I just don't need another. I don't need that kind of a wheel. I think for me, you know, the kind of rides I want to do and the more flexibility, 2,400 watt hours is kind of a minimum size wheel to have. Yeah. And the you know, again, this wheel was certainly inspired by the original Nikola, and the original Nikola had 1,500 watt hours, but that was an 84 volt wheel. But then the 100 volt wheels versions came out. I'm trying to remember. I think it was ultimately you could get a 2,700 watt hour Nikola. Now I do think that the Nikola was a bigger wheel, though, the shell. Still, what can I say? I wish at least it had 2,400 watt hours. Okay, back to the Rio Hondo River. It gets interrupted for a while before it connects up a few miles behind me. And if I kept going, well, this is part of my longer range test ride, but again, I'm at 58%. I'll probably be turning around not too far from here. So I'd rather not actually run out of juice before I get home. I try and time it so I'm on tilt back within a few blocks of my house. Okay, I am at El Monte Airport. I decided to use this as a turnaround point since I'm getting good gas mileage right now. Under load, 54%. Take a short break. I thought I would mention while I'm here the two things that I think at this point the two things that are not my favorite about this wheel. One's not a biggie because I've already pretty much fixed it for me, but it's kind of ugly, right? It's this cover, duct tape cover for the headlight, because the headlight blinds you at night when you're looking down at it because of their design. They really should add that's why sometimes they don't think these things through totally. As I say about Begode, is they make advances on wheels, they do some great stuff, but they always manage to do something on every wheel that's like you shake your head and you wonder what were they doing. But that's not huge because easy fix, right? The other thing, the main thing that I don't like about the wheel is the trolley handle. I've been taking this to stores and I don't like it. First of all, because of this latching mechanism, which I talked about in the unboxing video, you can only, if I can get 3 fingers in there, but 1 finger is digging into this latching mechanism, so it's not comfortable. So 2 fingers, that's just not very ergonomic, and it feels not very steady. And then as I said in my unboxing video, well, okay, I can just grab the width of it, and that works, and I do that, but that's also uncomfortable. You know, I gotta hold my hand like this to be holding this trolley handle, and these are all hard edges. So, you know, the trolley handle works. So it's definitely better than no trolley handle. Other than that, I think the trolley handle sucks. Just from an ergonomic comfort perspective, and it's a little on the short side, but if it were comfortable, there's having to lean over a little bit when you're trolling it around wouldn't be a problem. Other than that, those are the only two problems I have with the wheel, I would say. Everything else about this wheel I love. Okay, I'm heading back, and there's a section of this trail is closed. Got some construction going on, but of course I've bypassed it. It's a weekend, so there aren't any workers here. Just gotta take it slow. Let's see, so I'm 21 miles. 21 miles into the ride, at the El Monte Airport, I was at 20 miles. Under load, 55% battery, doing great. I mean, by the numbers, this is going to be 40 miles of 40 miles of fun riding, which is pretty good. Now, of course, the last 50% of your battery, you're not going to get the same range as your first 50%. So at some point I'll probably I'll have to start slowing down to make it, but I'll let you know at what point that is, the battery percentage. So you can have a good sense of what the true fun range of this wheel is before you have to start thinking about slowing down. Much easier to do on a small wheel. By the way, I'm holding the handle here. The handle could be bigger too. I've dropped the wheel. I mean, not dropped it, but it's kind of gotten away from me a little bit when I've been holding it with the wheel turned on, because of it's a small handle. It's a small handle, and the wheel's kind of heavy, and you just don't have the greatest leverage with that handle either. It's like the trolley handle. I'm back on my original route. heading back towards home generally. I'm about 26 miles in the ride, I think. 40% battery under load. I can't remember the exact miles to get back home. I think it might be about 10 miles at this point, maybe. We'll see, but yeah, so I'm not sure about 40 miles for this wheel. Maybe it'll be closer to 35. We'll see. But even that, for 1,500 watt hours, and you know, riding at a fun pace, it's not too bad. There's a lot of homeless around this section in the woods to my right. I've gone in there before, but sometimes it gives you the flavor of Deliverance, if any of you have seen that movie. So it's like, I don't think I want to ride around in those trails. This is, I think, the Whittier Narrows Dam coming up here. More of a flood control dam. Doesn't actually hold water back 99.9% of the time. It's like for the 100-year flood type scenarios. Okay, now to my left is the San Gabriel River, and that is what I'll be following home. I'm still not the best jumper of curbs and stuff. And then it starts, unfortunately I start doing that. If I do too much of that, my broken ankle starts hurting. So I can't aggressively do a lot of that. I am now 30 GPS miles into the ride, and under load, you know, about 25% battery. So I would say somewhere between 35 to 40 miles. I'm going to keep riding at these kind of speeds. We'll see, maybe I'll get 35 miles in at the full speed that I'm enjoying riding at, and then I'll slow down from there. We'll see. I'll let you know. Okay, I'm getting beeps. I'm at, I dropped below 20%. And it looks like 23 miles per hour, I start getting a little battery beep. So, if you're not familiar with how the Begode wheels work in terms of the battery, low battery, is the lower the battery gets, the slower the speed, the slower the max speed is allowed before you start hearing the low battery beeps. So I tend to slow down to keep the beeps from beeping. 66.2 volts. Now I calibrated EUC World based on 3.1 volts per cell being the minimum that the Begode will allow the batteries to discharge to. So based on that, I have 19% battery. You never know. It could be. You could have set it to 3.2. I don't know. I'm at. Trying to read. I'm at 1 bar. So anyway, that looks like this looks like about 31 miles. That's where I started to have to moderate my speeds. Feel pretty confident that I will get home, so I'll get at least. Should get at least 35 miles, but all right, well, at my body weight then, riding weight I should say, about 190 pounds, and having fun at, you can see my speeds when I was riding, a lot of 25 to well, it looks like my max speed was 28 miles an hour. It's a 30-mile range wheel, which for this battery size, again, it's decent. I'm not going to take this on a long-range wheel. I'm not going to take this on a long ride, right? So for the kind of ride that you would be doing on this wheel, probably, unless it were your only wheel, 30 miles should be plenty. Of course, if you're one of those riders that just want to ride at the max speed that you can do on any given wheel, then this then would be probably closer to a 20-mile range wheel. Okay, 14%. Okay, so now looks like if I exceed 10 miles per hour, that little battery beeps. 65 volts. Well, once again, I managed to time things just right. I'm probably going to get home on tilt back. 65.2 volts. I got 3 more volts before I have to start walking. So I'm going to slow down. I'll keep down to 15 miles per hour. This is the sad part of the range test, where I have to go slow. One thing, you guys, if you're not aware of this, when the low battery beeps coming out, you don't have to worry about the wheel cutting out if you keep riding with the beeps going, because inadvertently we did a little experiment with Dawn when she had the Commander. Let's see, I'm trying to remember now. It was oh God, remembering. I think it was a Commander. No, it must have been the Commander Pro. Yeah, I think the Commander Pro. It was definitely the Commander Pro. It had bad firmware, which allowed it basically, for the 134 volt wheel, the low battery firmware was set for a 100 volt wheel, because that was the original plan for that wheel, to be 100 volts. So Dawn rode the wheel really low, down to, I think it was something like 86 volts. And she was riding hard still. And no problems. Wheel didn't cut out, and that was a learning experience for me, because I used to always think, wow, if I exceed this, if I push the wheel too much while these low battery beeps are beeping, I might just lose power and face plant, right? So I'd always be pretty cautious. But then see what Don did. Even running the batteries really low, no problem. So I don't worry about. I still don't. I mean, I'm still not going to go aggressively fast, but I'm okay riding with the beeps beeping. I'm now less than a mile from home. %14 battery. 34 miles. So I'll exceed 35 miles, maybe 36. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, I am on tilt back, 62 pretty close to 62 volts, and 36.5 miles. I'll throw the stats up here. So again, about 30 miles of fun, roughly, let's say. Of 30 miles of fun. 35 miles of total riding you can squeak in. All right, guys. Well, I hope you got something out of this video, enjoyed it, and until next time, safe riding on your C8.